Ladies and gentlemen, when you're building something that matters, whether it's a business, a personal transformation, or a comeback, the first thing you need to understand is this. Not everyone is qualified to hear your dream. Your vision is delicate in its early stages. It's like a seed, tiny, vulnerable, easily uprooted. The moment you share it with people who don't understand your hunger, your pain, or your ambition, you risk poisoning it with their doubt, fear, and limitation. Most people won't see the dream the way you do. They weren't given that dream. You were. So when you tell someone your plans, you might be handing over your masterpiece to someone who only sees scribbles. And that's dangerous. People will talk, they'll analyze, they'll say it's impossible or too risky or too soon. And if you're not deeply rooted in your belief, those words start sounding like truth. And doubt kills more dreams than failure ever could. Keeping your plans private is not secrecy, it's strategy, it's discipline. It's about guarding your energy and not allowing your drive to be diluted by outside opinions that carry no weight in your destiny. When you're quiet, you're focused. You're building in peace, no distractions, no outside noise, just you, your grind, and your God. Work in silence. Let your results make the noise, because the world doesn't need an announcement, it needs evidence. And when you rise with results, not reasons. So keep your head down, stay focused, and trust the process. Protect your plans like treasure because they are, and some treasure isn't meant to be displayed. It's meant to be earned. Some people are silently rooting for your failure. They smile to your face, but hope you stumble behind your back. Sharing your plans with everyone is like giving ammunition to someone who wants to see you fall. Ideas change, paths shift. If you share your plan too early, you may feel pressure to stick with something that no longer feels right. Just to avoid looking inconsistent. Negative energy can kill momentum. You don't need anyone's doubt contaminating your determination. Protect your mindset like it's your most valuable asset because it is. Their quotes, power, and unpredictability. When people don't know your next move, they can't block it. Move like a ghost, then hit like thunder. Shock the world when you succeed. Sometimes we talk just to feel good. We chase applause before we chase action. But the applause doesn't build the dream, the effort does. When your plans stay private, your journey stays peaceful. Less opinions, less pressure, less drama, more clarity, more control, more calm. When you are on the edge of a breakthrough, when you are nurturing a dream that hasn't yet matured into reality, the most dangerous thing you can do is expose it too early. The vision that is meant for you, that wakes you up at night, that tugs at your soul during the day, is fragile in the beginning. It is like a flame trying to burn in the middle of a windstorm. It doesn't need exposure, it needs protection. Not because it is weak, but because it is growing. Not because it won't make it, but because you cannot allow the winds of outside opinion to blow it out before it has even learned how to stand on its own. When you tell everyone your plans, you allow too many voices into a sacred place, your internal world. That's where clarity lives. That's where the blueprint of your future is being sketched by your own effort, prayer, intention, and pain. But when you open your mouth too soon, when you let others in too early, you risk distorting that blueprint with opinions that were never meant to shape it. You risk inviting doubt from those who never had your courage. You risk soaking your spark in the cold water of someone else's fear. And here's the truth. Most people won't understand your vision because they weren't given the same dream. It wasn't planted in their heart, it was planted in yours, which means the responsibility to protect it, to nurture it, to water it daily with action and discipline. It's yours alone. Silence doesn't mean fear. Silence means focus. It means you're so committed to the work that you don't need to announce every step. You don't need the validation of being seen to believe in where you're going. You don't need likes, claps, comments, or approval. You need results, and results are born in the quiet hours. In the dark mornings, in the moments when nobody knows your name, when nobody is watching, when nobody is cheering. That is where greatness is formed. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. And when you choose silence, you choose strength. You begin to move with stealth and purpose. You preserve your energy. You silence the critics before they even open their mouths. You build without interruption. You climb without broadcasting every step. And there is power in that deep, unmoving, unshakable power. Because when you rise, it won't be because you convinced anyone. It won't be because you explained yourself into success. It will be because you earned it, quietly, consistently, relentlessly. So keep your plans close. Not because you're hiding, but because you're building. Let the world wonder. Let them speculate. Let them ask, what's he up to? What's she planning? And let your silence be the answer. Let your results speak in a volume your words never could. Let your journey remain sacred until it becomes undeniable. Because in the end, it's not about telling people what you're going to do. It's about showing them what they never saw coming. It's a hard truth to swallow, but necessary for your growth. Not everyone is happy for you. Not everyone clapping for you is clapping for you. Some people only want to see you rise as long as they're rising higher. Some people smile in your face while quietly praying for your downfall behind your back. And when you openly share your plans with people who harbor quiet envy, jealousy, or bitterness, you give them something to target, something to sabotage, something to feed their hidden agenda. You have to understand, when you tell the wrong people your vision, you invite the wrong energy into your journey. People who secretly resent your ambition will disguise their discouragement as advice. They'll tell you to be realistic, not because they care about you, but because they've already settled. They'll plant seeds of doubt in your soil of faith. They'll say things like, "Are you sure that's possible?" Or "That sounds risky." Not because they're thinking of your success, but because they're threatened by it. Some people can't stand to see you do something they never had the courage to try. And it doesn't always come from strangers. Sometimes it's family. Sometimes it's close friends, the ones who say they love you but can't stand watching you evolve beyond the version of you that fits their comfort zone. The moment you dream bigger, work harder, or reach higher, you force them to confront their own stagnation. And instead of growing with you, they may try to hold you back, subtly, quietly, or even unknowingly. But your dream is not their responsibility, and your progress cannot depend on their permission. So be careful, be selective, be discerning with your words. Your plan is a seed, and you don't plant seeds in toxic soil. You don't share dreams with people who dream small. You don't hand your vision to people who lack vision themselves. The truth is, not everyone clapping is cheering. Some are counting the days until you fail, counting on you to give up, counting on you to stay stuck so they don't feel left behind. And that's why silence is strategy, because when you stop announcing every move, you remove their ability to interfere. When they don't know what's coming, they can't prepare for it. They can't throw stones at what they can't see. They can't block what they don't know is being built. Let your success ambush their doubt. Let your rise interrupt their gossip. Let your progress become their silence. And understand that sometimes the best way to protect your dream is to protect it from the very people you thought would support it. When you're chasing a vision, what you start with is rarely what you end with. Plans are not fixed, they are alive. They breathe, bend, and shift as you grow. The direction may change. The path may twist. What seemed like the perfect strategy last year may not fit who you're becoming now. And that's not a flaw. That's evolution. But here's the danger. When you share your plans too early, you allow the world to put you in a box. You become trapped by expectations. Not because they're real, but because you told people something too soon. Suddenly you feel obligated to follow a script you've outgrown. You feel stuck in an identity that no longer fits, simply because you spoke it out loud before it was ready to be shown. You told them your plan when it was still just a sketch. But now that you're redrawing the lines, you feel pressure to stick with the original version, even when your soul is screaming for something new. People remember what you said. They'll remind you. But didn't you say you were going to do that? What happened to this idea? I thought you wanted that job, that business, that path. And now you're managing the burden of their memory when you should be focused on your momentum. You're not here to fulfill their image of your dream. You're here to chase the truth of your own unfolding purpose. Growth is messy. It's not linear. It doesn't come with a clear map. You might pivot. You might fall and choose another direction. You might discover a deeper truth halfway through the journey. And if you've already declared your path to the world, it becomes harder to honor that shift. You risk being labeled indecisive, inconsistent, or confused. But the truth is, you're not confused, you're learning. You're not inconsistent, you're aligning. You're not lost, you're evolving. And that's what real growth looks like. So protect your right to evolve. Protect your freedom to shift. Hold your plans close, not out of fear but out of respect for the process. The plan you whisper to yourself in the silence of your hustle has the right to grow, reshape, or redirect without being tied to anyone else's approval. Let your goals breathe in private before you release them to the public, because the most powerful transformations happen quietly. And when you're finally ready to show the world what you've built, let it be the refined version, the one that had time to become what it was truly meant to be. Every time you speak your plans out loud, you transfer energy, and that energy can either multiply your momentum or completely drain it. Your goals are made of emotional fuel, your belief, your hunger, your vision, your internal fire. And when you share that with the wrong person, you risk handing over that energy to someone who doesn't know how to handle it, someone who doesn't respect it, or worse, someone who actively works to weaken it. People carry their own emotional frequencies. Some walk around with fear wrapped around them like a coat. Some radiate bitterness, envy, cynicism. And the moment you expose your dream to their low vibration, it starts to shrink. Not because your dream got smaller, but because your energy did. You walk away from the conversation a little more uncertain, a little more hesitant, a little less on fire. Why? Because their words planted doubt. Their tone triggered insecurity. Their silence screamed disbelief, and suddenly you find yourself questioning the very thing you once believed in with all your heart. Energy is everything. It drives the decisions you make, the risks you take, the hours you put in. And when that energy is contaminated by the wrong voices, your performance suffers. You stop moving with clarity. You second guess your instincts. You hesitate when you should strike. And all of it starts with a simple mistake: telling someone your plan who didn't earn the right to hear it. You have to be ruthless about who gets access to your energy. You can be kind, you can be loving, but you must also be discerning, because not everyone deserves to sit at the table where your dreams are being served. Some people only show up to drain the room. Some people don't clap when you speak your vision. They roll their eyes even if only on the inside. And that invisible energy, you feel it even if they don't say a word. You feel when they don't believe in you. And your spirit absorbs that. That's why silence isn't just a strategy, it's self-defense. It's how you shield your energy from premature attack. It's how you guard your passion from becoming someone else's target. It's how you honor the sacred fire inside of you that's still in its early stages of burning bright. So learn to listen more and speak less. Build in silence. Move in stealth. Protect your energy like it's gold, because it is. And remember, your plan doesn't need to be public to be powerful. It just needs your full, undivided, uncontaminated focus. Let your energy build behind the scenes. Let it charge like a storm. And when you're ready to strike, do it with the force of someone who never wasted a single drop of belief on the wrong audience. There is a powerful advantage in being underestimated. There is strength in silence, in moving with no broadcast, no trumpet, no parade. When nobody knows your next step, they can't prepare to block it. When you operate under the radar, you take the world by surprise. And surprise is not weakness, it is tactical power. It's chess, not checkers. It's strategy, not secrecy. And if you learn to master the art of silence, you'll discover something amazing. Your next move becomes your sharpest weapon. The people around you are watching. Some are friends, some are foes, and some don't even know which one they are. But they are all paying attention. The moment you speak your plan, you remove the element of mystery. You give people time to react, time to criticize, time to interfere or compete. You hand over a roadmap of your intentions before you've even reached the halfway mark. And in doing so, you lose leverage. You surrender one of the most underrated forces in life: momentum through mystery. Every great warrior, inventor, creator, or leader had one thing in common. They didn't reveal everything. They moved like shadows until it was time to shine. They spoke when the work was done, not when it was just beginning. And when they appeared, they didn't just show up, they arrived. Their results hit hard because nobody saw them coming. Surprise disarms people. It bypasses resistance. It removes the chance for others to talk you out of what you're doing. Because while they're still busy gossiping, guessing, or doubting, you're executing. While they're still waiting for your next post, your next statement, your next explanation, you're gone. You're already 10 steps ahead. Because you weren't focused on talking about your move. You were too busy making it. Let your progress be unpredictable. Let your breakthroughs catch people off guard. Let your silence confuse those who try to track your steps. Don't give them the pleasure of seeing your preparation. Give them the shock of witnessing your arrival. And when you finally show them what you've built, let it be so undeniable, so powerful, so complete, that all they can say is, how did we not see that coming? You don't need to be loud to be legendary. You just need to be effective. And nothing is more effective than strategy wrapped in silence and delivered with surprise. You don't need to tell the world what you're going to do, just do it. In a time where everyone's talking, posting, announcing, and forecasting their future moves, real power lies in the one who doesn't say a word, but delivers results so loud the world can't ignore them. Because talk is cheap, but execution is priceless. Promises don't change lives, results do. You can promise yourself success 100 times. You can tell others your grand plans in perfect detail. But unless you're backing it up with relentless action, consistent discipline, and unwavering grit, those words are just air. And people stop listening. They stop believing. Because everyone says they're going to do something, but only a few actually do it. You don't want to be remembered for what you said. You want to be known for what you built. There's something incredibly powerful about letting your work be your voice. It speaks a truth that no caption, no speech, no status update ever can. When you walk into a room and your track record announces you, that's power. That's respect earned, not begged for. That's authority created through evidence, not explanation. Too often people fall in love with the idea of the goal. They romanticize the future before they've earned the right to live in it. They talk more about what's coming than they work for what's real. And in doing so, they create a fantasy around a promise instead of grounding themselves in the sweat and sacrifice required for proof. But when you hold your tongue and hold your focus, something shifts. You stop needing applause because your wins speak for you. You stop seeking permission because your results become your validation. You stop chasing recognition because what you've built is already undeniable. Build in silence, grind in peace. Let the hustle be holy. Let the results be so good they silence every doubt, every hater, every person who thought you couldn't do it. Not through argument, not through noise, but through evidence, through facts, through finished work. Because in the end, it's not the promise that matters, it's the performance. So don't just talk, build, finish, prove. Let your legacy be a quiet revolution. Let your impact be thunder. Let your results walk into every room before you ever have to say a word. It feels good to talk about your dreams. It feels powerful to declare your next big move. It strokes the ego. You feel accomplished just saying, I'm about to start this, or watch what I'm going to do next. But here's the truth. Most people won't say out loud. Talking gives you a false sense of progress. It tricks your brain into feeling like you've already done the work, when all you've really done is spoken about doing it. And that's where so many dreams die, in the dopamine hit of the declaration. People get addicted to the feeling of talking instead of the reality of building. They announce the launch before they've done the research. They proclaim the change before they've put in the discipline. They speak on the future as if it's already guaranteed, not realizing that nothing you say matters until you show up consistently for what you claim. Talking is easy. Action is hard. Talking is ego. Action is humility. Talking is instant gratification. Action is delayed rewards. The ego wants to be seen, heard, celebrated now. The goal wants you to shut up, lock in, and earn every inch of progress in silence. Because the goal doesn't care how loud you shout. It doesn't care how many people know your plan. It only listens to effort, only responds to sweat, only moves forward when your hands are dirty from the grind, not clean from posting about the grind. When you talk too much, you open the door for distraction. You invite opinions, criticism, expectations, and all of those things dilute your focus. But when you work in silence, you stay pure. You stay aligned. Your vision remains your own, untouched by outside energy, untouched by public pressure. There is nothing wrong with ambition. But remember, ambition without execution is just arrogance in disguise. You want to be about it, not just talk about it. You want your results to carry weight, not your words. And every second you spend announcing your next move is a second you could have spent making that move. So starve the ego, feed the goal. Let your silence humble you. Let your work mature you. Let your journey be more powerful than your announcement of it. Because the goal isn't to be loud. The goal is to win. Quietly, completely, unapologetically. There's a deep, powerful calm that comes when you learn to keep your plans to yourself. In a world where everyone is trying to be seen, heard, validated, and celebrated, privacy becomes your protection. Your peace doesn't thrive in noise. It thrives in stillness. And when you tell everyone your next move, you invite noise. You open the door to opinions, projections, expectations, and emotional weight that was never meant to be yours. Peace loves privacy. Because peace needs space. It needs room to breathe. It needs time to grow without the pressure of the spotlight. Your dreams, your ideas, your transformation, they deserve the chance to unfold without being pulled apart by judgment or suffocated by other people's timelines. You don't need someone asking, "How's that going?" every other week. You don't need the stress of explaining your delays, your pivots, or your process. You just need the freedom to evolve without interruption. Privacy doesn't mean isolation. It means intention. It means knowing what to share, when to share, and who to share it with. Because not everyone is emotionally safe for your vision. Some people don't support. They monitor. They don't uplift. They compare. And when you overshare, you give them access to influence your peace. Suddenly you feel anxious, pressured, watched. And that pressure, it chips away at your creativity. It drains your mental clarity. It steals the joy from your journey. But when you choose privacy, you reclaim control. You reclaim your focus. You allow yourself to build from a place of alignment, not approval. You give yourself the grace to feel, fail, adjust, and rise without putting it on display. And there is nothing more peaceful than that. Waking up every day, knowing you don't owe anyone a performance. You don't owe them a progress update. You don't owe them a preview of what hasn't even fully formed yet. You owe yourself silence. You owe yourself stillness. You owe yourself the right to protect your passion from premature exposure. Because peace is not found in the shouting. It's found in the silence between the moves. In the sacred quiet where your power is being shaped. And when it's finally time to reveal what you've built, it won't come from a place of pressure. It will come from peace, from power, from purpose. And that's when you'll know the silence was never empty. It was full of everything you needed to rise. So protect your plans. Guard them with intention. Hold them close like a fire, not yet ready for the wind. The world doesn't need to know what you're building while it's still under construction. Let them see the finished masterpiece, not the scattered bricks. Don't trade your peace for premature praise. Don't exchange your clarity for noisy validation. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are becoming. And that process is sacred. It requires silence. It demands focus. It thrives in privacy. The less you speak, the more you hear your own voice. The less you broadcast, the more you align with your truth. Every time you choose to move without an announcement, to build without an audience, to heal without permission, you reclaim power. You reclaim control over your vision, your energy, your destiny. Let them wonder what you're up to. Let them doubt. Let them guess. Let the silence grow heavy. Because when the day comes that your results break through the noise, they won't need explanation. They will speak for you. Not with words, but with proof, with impact, with undeniable, unstoppable reality. Don't tell everyone your plans. Show them your outcomes. And let the silence in between be where your greatness is born. So protect your plans. Guard them with intention. Hold them close like a fire, not yet ready for the wind. The world doesn't need to know what you're building while it's still under construction. Let them see the finished masterpiece, not the scattered bricks. Don't trade your peace for premature praise. Don't exchange your clarity for noisy validation. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are becoming. And that process is sacred. It requires silence. It demands focus. It thrives in privacy. The less you speak, the more you hear your own voice. The less you broadcast, the more you align with your truth. Every time you choose to move without an announcement, to build without an audience, to heal without permission, you reclaim power. You reclaim control over your vision, your energy, your destiny. Let them wonder what you're up to. Let them doubt. Let them guess. Let the silence grow heavy. Because when the day comes that your results break through the noise, they won't need explanation. They will speak for you. Not with words, but with proof, with impact, with undeniable, unstoppable reality. Don't tell everyone your plans. Show them your outcomes. And let the silence in between be where your greatness is born. Work in darkness until the results light up the sky. Move like thunder beneath the ground. Let your actions be the whisper that shakes the foundation. Let your focus be your fortress. Your peace be your power. Your discipline be your declaration. You don't owe the world your dreams. You owe them to yourself first. Keep the vision sacred. Keep your mouth closed and your mind open. Protect your energy like it's royalty. You weren't made to perform. You were made to build. Not to impress, but to impact. Not to promise, but to produce. The loudest person in the room is rarely the one doing the most. The one who's silent. They're working. They're preparing. They're sharpening. They're climbing. Let your hunger echo in your effort, not your words. Let your presence be earned, not announced. Let your legacy be built in rooms no one sees. Do not let the world rush you. Let no one box you in. Do not allow shallow applause to rob you of deep mastery. Your plan is not a performance. It is a process. And real power, Grow slowly, quietly, persistently. So when you're tempted to speak, pause. When you're tempted to post, pause. When you're tempted to share just for the sake of sharing, pause. And ask yourself, is this for progress or just for praise? Because silence doesn't mean weakness. It means wisdom. It means knowing the difference between noise and necessity, between vanity and vision, between hype and harvest. The seed doesn't scream while it's growing. The tree doesn't announce every inch of its rise. It just grows. It just rises. It just becomes. And you must do the same. Let your work be sacred. Let your grind be untouchable. Let your vision be so rooted in purpose that you don't flinch when no one claps. Because you're not here for noise. You're here for fruit, for real results, for outcomes that echo louder than any words could. And when the day comes that they finally see what you've built, let it be so complete, so strong, so undeniable, that their questions melt into silence. You don't owe them your next move. You owe yourself your next level. You don't need to be understood while you're building. You just need to keep building. Don't fear being misunderstood. Fear being distracted. Fear giving your dream away for cheap applause. Fear mistaking talk for traction. Keep walking. Keep working. Keep rising. And when the noise fades, and the crowd clears, and the dust settles, it won't be your words they remember. It will be your results, your presence, your impact. Not because you told them what you were going to do, but because you did it, quietly, consistently, relentlessly. And now that it's done, now that it's real, now that it stands strong for all to see, you smile, because you know they never saw it coming. And that was the point. Thank you.